I don't follow the Wizard Liz and her work, to be honest, but I do know of the impact it has on younger girls and women. And I am familiar with the type of advice she hones in on and what she's built her whole brand around. And I think it's important to remember that it is a brand. But yeah, I hopped on here because I also, like many people, have an opinion about the whole situation with the baby daddy and what played out. And I know a lot of people are coming on here to say that they saw it coming, there were signs. Please, okay? It's so easy to be on the outside and be like, "Oh, I there were signs, there were signs." You can't say that unless you're in the situation, and even then, it becomes very muddled. But outside of that, my commentary isn't going to be around that in terms of what signs there were or anything of that sort, because I can't comment on that. I'm not privy to their relationship inside and out. What I do want to comment on is the whole marketing of manifestation and this idealized life that you can get with simply changing your thoughts. Now, don't get me wrong, I believe in vibrations, I believe in neuroplasticity, I believe in positive thinking. But in the West, I feel like this whole commercialization of manifestation, and if you just think this way and if you do it this way and XYZ, basically the whole packaging of the instructions that people like Wizard Liz, or even I'm going to throw in the name Tamcor, come up with to advertise to younger women. I think it's so dangerous because it really hangs on the thread that if you do XYZ, you will get instant gratification, your life will be devoid of any suffering, and you will be protected from pain, and you will have pleasant experiences, also in many cases materialistic experiences. And I think that is such a dangerous thought process to shell out on women, because I think the primary target market for this is women, especially younger women, because it makes them believe that if they do XYZ, if they manifest XYZ, then they'll be happy. They outsource their happiness to a life that's devoid of suffering, pain, and just the rawness that comes with life. Listen, life is unpredictable. Nothing's gonna shield you from the pain that life is gonna bring, the randomness. None of that is going, no one's exempt from that, okay? No one can protect themselves from that. All you can do is really just work on your self-trust and self-confidence. And where I think it becomes dangerous is because a lot of this self-help advice is packaged into not really leaning in on yourself for self confidence or self-trust, but rather outsourcing it and thinking you can control every arena of your life, and then feeling crushed when you don't. Because the reality is, life isn't dependent on, like, there's very little you can control in life. That's what I'm trying to say. And this situation of the circumstance that Wizard Liz is in, I think, shows that and proves that, like, there's very little you can control, no matter how much you might advise other people that you can control this and that and you can live a life that's full of joy and happiness. I'm not saying you can't. Of course you can, but a lot of that depends on your self-trust and self-confidence. And I think if younger women focused more on building that self-trust, allowing themselves to make mistakes, learn from the mistakes, and understanding the value in knowing yourself and building your own character and honestly values, that is going to go a lot further and serve you a lot longer than this very superficial idea of manifestation in the West that's packaged and marketed in these YouTube videos. And again, I want to clarify and say that I do believe in vibrations, I do believe in chakras, I believe in all that stuff, but that is combined with self-trust and self-confidence, and those, in my opinion, are the groundwork for anything in your life. And it's also kind of making peace with knowing that your life is going to be random, and you can't control a lot of what's going to happen, but you can control what you feel about yourself and what your thought process is in terms of how you digest all this information being thrown at you. And that is probably going to be the most important skill, the critical thinking aspect of it, as well as self I got cut off. But self-reliance and resilience, and no one can teach that. No one can manifest that for you. Resilience, self-trust, that's gonna come from trial and error and like an inherent belief in yourself. Manifestation, the way it's taught in the West, is so superficial, so shallow, so privileged. And I hope this serves as a reminder to younger women to understand that life happens outside of instant gratification. And the sooner you make peace with that, and the sooner you also make peace with the fact that life, so much of life is outside of your control, but your self trust isn't, the happier and more content and peaceful you will be. Like, it's this is such a big industry, and women are preyed on. Honestly, that is what it is. And it's packaged as self care, it's packaged as boundaries, it's packaged as do this and you will live the most beautiful, perfect life. A perfect life does not exist, it never will. But what does exist is self reliance, resilience, and self trust. And those are the skills you should be building and manifesting.